Hey Chris here, welcome back to the channel. So I hope everyone's been doing well and building their Stake Dubai property portfolios. Do apologize for no update over the past 3 months. I do intend to get into a more regular upload schedule. So I'm really hoping I can get into doing like 2 videos a week, maybe something like one every 3 days, showing different properties that have been introduced onto the Stake platform. And I'll show you around them and then decide on whether or not I'll be investing more into them or just leaving them for whatever reason. But before we get on the laptop and I show you my property portfolio now on Stake, I would just like to mention the Investing Boss Facebook group. You can join that via the link down in the description if you're not yet a member. And also there will be a Discord group for people to join up at the end of June. I'm actually going to be in that Discord group myself and being able to reply to people's questions and comments. And there'll be different channels in there where you can discuss properties that you've invested into and what's going on with them. So it's not just a Discord group where you'll be left alone. Well, having said that, getting on the laptop then. Here we're at page 6. So I now have 60 properties or shares of properties on the Stake platform. And as you may have seen on the last update, I think it was 48 on the last one. So you can see here we've had 5 properties exited now. That would be 2 this year, 1 in 2023, which was the largest value. So that was £1,524 with a gain of 26.5%. That's my very best exit so far with the largest amount of money. Also brought in the most rental income on that at £32.52. The next best performing was at 23% there with £474 from that one. There was another one there which you can't really class that as an exit, I guess, because it was only £4.20 I had in there, but it was still a gain of 5%. Actually, I apologize. The very best performing exit I had was 31.7%, but with just £134. Scrolling upwards then, for the rest on this page, we've got an exit in progress. That's made a 11.4% gains, had £42 rental income, and that's an investment value of £447.69. Something I'll discuss in like the Discord group, what's my plans when that property is exited. You know, you'll get insider information of what I'm doing next on the Stake platform if you're a Discord member. The other 4 properties here, you can see a gain of 37%. I've got a 22, a 6, and then a 2% at the top. Jumping on to page 5 then, every single property here is listed as rented. That keeps things simple and straightforward. Got a 12%, 4% gain. My worst ever performing property, that's at -2%. That's a shame because that was slightly up, but obviously something's happened and it's quite rare really to see that. Got a 2% gain there. Break even, which is again very rare. 3, 11, a 0.48 gain, a 2, and then at the top a 10.5% gain. Jumping on to page 4 then, again, let's check. Yeah, all of these properties out of the 10 are rented. Nothing like saying looking for a tenant or court action being taken. They're all just rented, which is nice to see. Got a gain there, 14.8, 12.6, and then a couple of very small gains there of 1 and then around 0.5%. Got a 5, a 4, 11, or nearly 12% gain actually. Just shy of 1%, and then a couple of 2% gains there at the top with small rental incomes in all of them, with them being like smaller amounts of money and potentially not been invested into them too long. You can see this one here, 1 bed in Hanover Square. That's £300 nearly invested, £9.23 rental income. So obviously I would have held on to that one for a bit longer. Then on page 3, 9 of the properties rented, with this 3-bed penthouse in Sabah Tower 2, Jumeirah Lakes Towers is the full title of that. And the reason why it says, you know, renovation in progress is because this is one of the fix and flips that I have where you literally just buy into it and they're going to do it up and then sell it. There's no rental income there. There you can see, for example, a before picture. It's how it currently looks or how it did look when they bought it. And then that's how it's going to look. And yeah, by purchasing the property, needing that work doing to it, so like that there looks awful and then that looks amazing, it's really going to increase the value, of course, and return a nice percentage there. So because the property was bought at a 5% discount, it made an instant gain of 4.92%. If you would have put £1,000 into that, you would have instantly had £50 of gains there. It's going to be much more of a gain when the property is sold and then all the value is released back to the investors on that. Next then, we've got 48% gain on that 2-bed in Marina Residences. I'm happy that that was one that I put more money into there, so it's nearly £3,500 in value. Also a really good rental income on that one, with it being one that I've held for a bit longer. £175 of passive income from that one. Nothing for me to do. It's just money being paid to me for investing in the property. Got a 23%, another 23, 21, 12, 22% gain, a 20, and then a 14. Then looking at page 2, so we have rented. Then we have share transfer pending. These are properties that I bought in the exit window in last month in May 2025. But then we got a rented, another rented, and then 4 more of the share transfer pending. A lot of these are just waiting to get transferred over to me before I can then start getting the rental income paid. That's why it says 0 on the rental part. But we got 11.2% gain, 13.5%, and then my very best performing property ever. And this is only something I saw when I went to do this video. I didn't know this had happened, but the one bed in Blakely Tower is actually a plus 54.91% gain. £1,000 invested in that one would have been £549, or call it £550 gain there. So they're the kind of properties you wish you would have put more money into. With it showing £306 of value, that means I'll probably put £140 into it. Shame, but that's just what happened. If only I'd put £5,000 into that one, that would be amazing. It's why really you should be spreading out your investments across multiple properties, I think, not financial advice. If you just put in all your money into one property and then it doesn't perform very well, or it goes like negative 2%, then it's really not going to be good. But you can get a lot that'll be like 10, 20, 30, or even like that one, 55% gain. Then the next one of results here, which aren't a transfer pending, we've got 5.5% and then a 9.7% gain. Then on to page 1, we just have one rented property with all the rest of them being a share transfer pending. You can see the amounts there. So one of them there is just £1.26. It might have just been a bit of cash back that I got from investing as a pro member. You get 1% cash back. So I would have just seen that there was some discounted shares of that and put the £1.26 in. But that is the only one that's like really low. There's a few that are like £35, £38. Actually, one there is £16.87. So these are all like multiple investments, but of just much smaller amounts. But that final one there, the one bed in Bloom Towers, is actually just shy of £200 in that one. Now, if we jump onto the main portfolio tab, you can see the total portfolio value is £18,457, or 91,864 dirhams. The reason why that's roughly the same amount as the last update I did is because the pound to US dollar, which the US dollar is pegged to the dirham, has been going up, which means the value of the pound has gone down, which means the portfolio value for me, because I'm in pounds, or I'm at least getting it converted to pounds on my dashboard here. At the moment of filming, the pound to US dollar is 1.35. If that drops back down to say 1.25 or 1.20 like it has been recently, my portfolio value would likely climb to something like 19, maybe even 19,500 pounds, something like that, or even closer to like 20,000. Just depends on what that exchange rate is doing at the time. It doesn't really bother me, because if the exchange rate goes higher, means I can get more dirhams for my pounds. If it comes down, it just means when my rental income gets paid, I'll get more pounds basically of value from it. So either way it goes up or down, I'm not really affected. I benefit from it either way. You can see the monthly income is now at £53.62, with a lot of shares needing transferring over. That was around £60, but then because of the dollar and pound rate changing there, total rental income is nearly £800 now, and then the total appreciation of the properties is just over £2,600. You can see here we've got a number of properties at 55. So the reason I said 60 is because that's what it's showing here. It would have just been multiple purchases of the same property, but because the shares haven't transferred yet, it's saying it's 60. Occupancy rate at 98%, because one of them is a fix and flip, so that's the 2% there that's not paid rent on. And then the annual rental yield is 4.51%. Please let me know if you have any video ideas for the channel to do with stake or property investing. Comment below and I'll be sure to check those comments out. Drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, had any value from it. I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.